Greetings and welcome back to the Galley of the Sun. I'm excited today. That must mean we're cooking Mexican. Heck yes, it does. So today we're gonna make a fantastic Mexican soup. We're gonna make Pozole Verde. Now, pozole basically means soup made with hominy and meat, typically chicken or pork. We're doing chicken today. Also, there's four main different types of pozole. There is pozole blanco, which is white pozole, just regular soup with the hominy and chicken and some vegetables. Pozole verde, which we're making today, and that's where you add a green sauce, typically made of peppers and tomatillos. Then there is pozole rojo, which is red pozole, typically made with dried chilies, and we are going to try that in the future. You bet your ass we are. And then there is New Mexico pozole, which instead of hominy, they use a blue field corn called pozole. Definitely going to give that a try. As I understand, that is typically red, the rojo. So you're going to see a couple more pozole episodes in the future. But in the meantime, let's get going with this pozole verde. So in a large stock pot, we're going to add some things. One of those things is going to be celery. Now, I'm not going to say a whole lot of amounts because I screw it up when I do. But to do you right, all of the ingredients, their amounts, and directions are down below in the description section in a recipe. And if they aren't, then at the very least, there's going to be a link that takes you to our webpage, galleyofthesun.com, where that recipe will live. All right, let's get going. In goes the celery. To that, we'll add an onion. It's the Galley of the Sun. You got to have garlic, and it's pozole. You got to have garlic. Now about 2 to 3 pounds of skin-on, bone-in chicken thighs. Can you use boneless? You can, but you're going to lose a lot. We're basically making our own chicken stock here, and the fat that's under the skin and that bone is going to add a heck of a lot of flavor. So it's worth it to do it this way. Plus, bone-in skin-on's cheaper. Hey. So I added about 6 thighs there. Now goes our liquid constituents. Agua. And a couple beers. We're using Modelo's. Seems appropriate. And then at this point, just a few seasonings. Some Mexican oregano, uno bay leaf, and some salt. I'm going to put that on the stove on high heat. I'm going to boil this for about 40 minutes. Then we'll take the chicken out and shred it. So we'll see you about that time when it's time to make the verde portion of this meal. See you then. All right, I was silly before in the last take. When the chicken is boiling for 40 minutes, that's a perfect time to get together the verde sauce that's going to get added to it later. So let's do it. I'm going to take some tomatillos here, cut them in half, chuck them in the blender.
Smooth.
As I try and break my cumin jar, but I didn't. It didn't break. Does the Vitamix need these cut in half? No, not really. However, the round shape makes them bounce around all over the place, and it takes a while to get them captured in the blades. You cut them in half, much easier day. We'll rough chop an onion. That goes in the blender. Now is where you can control your heat. You want flavor and not a lot of heat, then do what I'm about to do. I'm going to cut these in half, and these are jalapenos, by the way, 3 of them. I'm going to cut them in half and scoop out the veins and the seeds. You want it a little bit hotter? Just knock the top off of these and chuck them into the blender. You want it even hotter? Use some serranos. Last couple ingredients here. I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of diced chipotles and adobo. Love that flavor. A little bit of ground cumin. And then certainly not traditional, but I absolutely love the flavor of this stuff. Some of Spice Allergy's cowboy candy, caramelized onions and jalapenos. Oh, incredible flavor. Last but not least, I'm going to take a whole bunch of cilantro here. We're going to chop it up. Half of it's going to go in our verde sauce. Half of it we'll reserve for garnish with our soup. One of the hallmarks of pozole is there's not a lot of ingredients in it, but you have a bunch of fresh ingredients such as shredded cabbage, cilantro, sliced radishes off to the side for everybody to add as they please later to it. All right, half a bunch of cilantro in. We will mix that up and then set it aside. So we'll see you when it's time to shred the chicken. See you then. So at the 40-minute point, I took the chicken out of the pot. I've been letting it sit here for about 15 minutes to cool down as to not injure my tender paws. And it hit me. When I made the verde before, I did a serious Galley of the Sun party foul. I forgot the garlic.
What? What are you saying?
But that's okay. I got a solution for that. I've added the garlic, but this is a bit thick, right? So we're going to add some broth to the soup to this, throw it back on the blender, blend it up, and that's going to make sure that we get the majority of this gold into our soup. In the meantime, I'm going to get this chicken shredded real quick, discarding the skin and the bones. All right, the chicken's shredded. Now that I have all the chicken out of the pot, it's going to be easier to get some of the broth into my verde here. After I took the chicken out of the soup, I went ahead and lowered it down to a gentle simmer. Now, you shouldn't have to do this step if you don't forget your garlic, but I did. So I'm going to get this back on the blender. Now the verde of our pozole verde goes back into the soup. We add our drained and rinsed hominy and our shredded chicken. Now you want your pozole at a gentle simmer. Let it go for at least 20 or 30 minutes for all those flavors to meld. So when you see us next, it's going to be time for some judgment. We'll see you then. The pozole is all done. We have brought in our favorite señorita, El Director. Or would that be La Director?
See?
I don't know.
Very tasty. I like it.
All right. How is the spice level?
Got a little bite, but not bad at all.
Okay. Yep. 3 jalapenos used, but we removed all the seeds and the veins. So remember, that step is where you control the heat. So do we have a winner? Uh-huh. All right. There you go. I can't wait to try New Mexico Pozole Rojo. That'll be in a future episode. So, until then, thank you so much for joining us. And until we see you next time, fair winds and falling seas.